Hey guys, welcome back, or if you are new here, I'm Erica Bell. I do travel videos, organizing videos, general life stuff. So if that is your thing, which hopefully it is because you clicked on this video, please think about subscribing. Anyways, let's get to it. So I have grown up in airports. I've grown up traveling. I absolutely love it. Something about being in an airplane still amazes me every time I do it. And just being in an airport, I just love it. I love it. So over the years, because I've done so much traveling, I have made plenty of mistakes. So I want to share some mistakes with you guys so that you don't make them. Here are 3 airport mistakes that I no longer make. The first one is overpacking. I have a whole video about ways to stop overpacking, ways to prevent it. I talk about it all the time. I am a recovering overpacker and it just can get you into trouble. So, I used to kind of want to have tons of options and just stuff as much as I could in my bag just in case. I no longer do that now. So now about a month out, I start really being intentional about planning my trip. I write out the days I'll be gone, specifically what I'll be doing, and break it down each day into what I truly need, and then I only pack what I need. I've also said this in another video in regards to overpacking. If you are choosing between 2 different types of suitcases, 2 different size suitcases, go with the smaller suitcase, okay? You will be less likely to be able to overpack because you'll really have to be intentional. If you have more space, we're all guilty of it, right? I do this all the time with purses. It's like if I have a bigger purse, I just want to shove more stuff in it, right? I don't know. We just feel like we have to fill it. So you'll be less tempted to overpack if you pack the smaller, if you plan to use the smaller of the 2 suitcases. So that's travel mistake number 1, which kind of falls in line with travel mistake number 2, which is not weighing my suitcase before I get to the airport. So overpacking obviously can cause your bag to be too heavy. And of course, look at your requirements. Each airline will have different requirements, as well as if you're traveling domestically versus internationally, it's all different requirements. So make sure you triple check what your requirements are, what you can have before you get to the airport. You never want to be blindsided when you get to the airport. So, okay, if you are not overpacking, there's a better chance that your suitcase will not be overweight, but you just never know. Even with the most intentional packing, even if you have a bigger suitcase, sometimes like we talked about, it can get heavy. It can lead to that. So even if you're very intentional about only packing what you need, you just never know. And again, you don't want to get to the airport and be surprised. So either put it on just a normal bathroom scale, or they make scales that you just attach to the top handle, and you lift it up and it tells you how much your bag weighs, which I will link to down below. But again, you want to start your trip off on a good note. Weighing your bag is one of the first things, if you're checking a bag, of course, is one of the first things you do when you get to the airport. So during grad school, I did an internship in New York City, and of course, when I was there, I did some shopping. I maybe did a little too much. So when I was in the airport going back home, I had this duffel bag that I had packed. I don't even know where I got it. But anyway, so I had only brought this duffel bag with me. I get to the airport. It was jam-packed. It just super full, y'all. I get to the airport. They weigh it. They're like, this is ridiculously overweight. It was bursting at the seams. I wish I could scrounge up a picture of this, but maybe I didn't take any because I was too embarrassed. Anyways, so they tell me, they're like, it's gonna be just some crazy amount of money to check this bag because it's so overweight. This was like handfuls of years ago, so I don't know what the exact cost is anymore, but I'm pretty sure it's still astronomical, like crazy. All right, I was a college student. Like I couldn't afford the hundreds of dollars or whatever it was for this overpacked, overweight bag. And I wasn't with anyone, so I couldn't say, hey, can you just mail this to me? Or do you have another suitcase? You know, anything like that. So the best they could do, and they were so kind in helping me. I felt like such a fool. I was so embarrassed. They literally gave me trash bags, y'all, so that I could put my stuff in the trash bags and carry it with me. Because the carry-on I had, I shoved it, I put stuff in it. I took some of the overweight stuff and put it with me, but it still like was not enough to like make a difference and to like keep it at that correct weight limit. So I have these trash bags and they're like duct taped and I'm like just holding it. It was mortifying. Oh my gosh, it was so mortifying. But like we've all seen it, right? You've seen either like the bag on the conveyor belt that's like exploded and they've like put tape on it or whatever. It's like you do not want to be that person. And most importantly, you just don't want to be blindsided. Like when you get to the airport, you're like, oh crap, my bag is so overweight, what do I do now? So weigh your bag before you leave your house, even a couple of nights before, so that you can have time to like fully take out what you think you can and just like make do with other things. And my third mistake is not preparing for security, okay? So we've been there or we've seen the people who it's like they get up to the front and maybe it's their first time flying. Okay, let me just say this. Maybe it's their first time flying, so they don't really know the whole what to expect with like the security checkpoints, what they need to do. If it is your first time flying, let me say this now, go ahead and look up what you have to do at security checkpoints. You can't bring liquids or, they have to be this big, certain requirements. You have to take off your shoes, you have to take off your belt, take out your change, all those things. Make sure you know what you have to do if it's your first time flying. Or maybe if you haven't flown in a while, just refresh your memory. But be prepared, whether it's your first time flying or your 100th. Don't get to the front of the line and be like scrambling, like taking your belt off, taking change out of your pockets, taking your cell phone out. Know what to do so that you don't feel rushed, you don't feel scattered, you're not holding up the people behind you because chances are there's a line. Just don't be that person. I now have, I've paid for like TSA PreCheck, which I will preach all day long about. It is so worth the money. If you travel pretty often, I would highly, highly, highly recommend paying for PreCheck. Sometimes, obviously, they just give you PreCheck, but other times they don't. Anyways, it's worth the money. I have the Delta American Express card, and they actually reimbursed me for what it cost to do the PreCheck. Or you can do the global entry if you fly a lot internationally. So the PreCheck is for domestic flights and global entry is for international flights. I tried to get the global entry option. Right now, appointments where locally, like by me, are crazy, or by the places that I was gonna be at, are really hard to get. So look into that ahead of time, but it's way worth it. It just makes the process of going through security so much easier, so much faster. And to me, it's worth the money. It's one of those things that's worth the money. So that is it. I hope that you guys don't make these mistakes like I did, but what are some mistakes that you've made while traveling that you swear you're never gonna do anymore? Let me know. I would love to know. And thanks so much for watching. And I will talk to you guys soon.